Now, after months of guessing, the new iPhone 5 has arrived. Now, if you're a gadget geek and already planning to upgrade your old phone, what offers are there out there to make sure that you get the best deal? And with Apple and Samsung continuing their patent battle, accusing each other of copying features from each other's handsets, could other smartphones offer some better deals? Well, to have a chat about this, Ernest Oku, who's telecoms expert at USwitch, is here. Hello there, Ernest. So what should people do who are desperate to get their hands on the new phone? What should they do when they're shopping around? What should they look out for?
I think the important thing for consumers to do is actually check their current bills. I think a lot of these deals out there are very enticing. They offer free phones at very low monthly costs, but they might offer more minutes, text and data than you could ever need. Research that we conducted at USwitch showed that 90% of people go far beyond sort of what they need in terms of the tariffs they buy. So it's important to see how many minutes, how many texts, how much data you need, and make sure you get a deal that adheres to that.
Also, it's been quite a tricky week for Apple. There is this big launch, lots of pre-orders, yet at the same time, a lot of people are complaining about the new Maps app on the latest phone and on their latest operating system. Tell me about this row and whether it could help Apple's rivals.
Well, certainly, this is it. This is the new iPhone 5. Everybody was raving about how great it was, but when they finally got it, they realized that the new Maps wasn't actually the Google Maps they had before, but Apple's own new solution. Unfortunately, it's far less impressive in terms of accuracy than they were used to. This has really caused an issue in terms of consumers finding their local pubs in the bottom of a lake, for example. And I think a lot of the competition, the likes of Samsung and HTC, who use Google's Android system, have their own map solution that's far improved.
Yeah, and they're really snapping, aren't they, at Apple's heels, despite all of these millions of pre-orders and there's a lot of hype surrounding the iPhone. You can tell that Apple's worried because of all these patent battles it's lodging with Samsung.
Exactly, all these patent battles they've been managing to lodge. I think Samsung with the Galaxy S2 and their current S3 device have really managed to catch up in terms of features, functionality, and some of that cool factor that was normally sort of the reserve of Apple devices.
And so are there some good deals out for Apple's rivals as well, and what should you look out for? I mean, if you just look at the smartphone market in general.
Certainly. I think the arrival of a new iPhone does tend to see the competition definitely drop significantly in price. So if you shop around, you can find some of Samsung's devices, HTC's, LG's at really competitive prices. Another thing you do also find is the iPhone, the older models actually go down in price. So if you don't have to have the latest and greatest, there's definitely a great deal out there for you.
OK, Ernest Oku from USwitch, thank you very much for talking to us. And that's all from Your Money this week. You can get updates by following me or Your Money on Twitter. And of course, you can find out much more on the BBC News website. Goodbye.
You are watching BBC News. The time is just edging up to 10 to 11. Now, 1,000 troops and federal police have been deployed to a suburb of Mexico City to combat worsening drug violence. The move follows a rise in fighting between rival drug gangs. From Mexico City, Will Grant has sent this report.
So far, Mexico's violent drugs war has largely been kept away from Mexico City. But this year there have been signs that